Testing, 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 testing. Testing, testing, testing. For anybody who might be listening right now, can you please confirm that you can hear me first and foremost? Had some streaming difficulties a few nights ago, so I'm just trying to make sure that the stream is working properly. So I do see a few people in the chat. Okay, appreciate that, Devil. You said I'm good. All right, great, 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 great. So y'all know what happened on Tuesday. Don't want that to happen tonight. I think I figured out the problem with OBS. So we should be good. But this is going to be quick. This is going to be quick, guys. I told you guys last night, and thank you all for coming out, man, for the draft, the annual draft live discussion show. Again, I want to thank Kenyon. I want to thank Debbie as well as Sade for coming through, man, hanging out with me. Good times. Also, let me say something to you guys as well. Let me know if I sound funny at all as far as words and the way I'm pronouncing words and things like that. You know, y'all know I share everything with you guys. You know, I have a liner here on my bottom row of teeth, you know, trying to get things a little more straight. I have a liner similar to like an Invisalign, and it's causing me to talk a little funny. I didn't take it out before this show, so if you guys hearing me say words a little funny and pronounce them a little funny, that's what it is. But again, we're family. I don't mind sharing that with you guys. But hey, man, I'm just going to give a quick recap on the day 2 picks. Like I said, this is not going to be an extremely long stream. Just wanted to come talk to my family for a little bit, have some fun, really, really, really quick. And I'm serious when I say quick. I know a lot of times when I say it's going to be quick, it's not. It will be tonight. But just want to get in here and chop it up, man, really quick with you guys. Let me make sure. I know a couple people were waiting for me to get started. So give me a second, guys. Let me post the link to a few special people, and then I'll come right into the comments and see what you guys have to say. And again, man, if I sound a little funny, y'all let me know, man. Again, I'm trying to learn how to talk with this Invisalign, if you will, down here on the bottom row. Man, what a great start for the Pittsburgh Steelers. I'll just recap the first round pick really quick, you know, allow a few more people to get up in here, and then we'll talk about day 2. But really quick, man, listen, you cannot be upset with the pick, in my opinion. Cannot be upset with that pick in the first round. You know, getting a guy like Troy, and I heard him pronounce his name. He says Fautanu. Fautanu is how he pronounces it. Getting a guy like Fautanu, man, if you had a chance to watch any of his tape, I haven't been able to go back and watch games. I've watched games throughout the year, but again, I wasn't intently watching him. But you've seen his highlights, but I like to watch full games and see full bodies of work on these guys and not just look at the highlights. You want to see their highs, their lows, their ups, their downs. But if you just look at the way this dude approaches the game, his mentality, again, listening to his interview and, you know, his passion for the game, you cannot be mad at that pick. For one, a lot of people, you know, kind of get on Dan Moore. A lot of people don't like Dan Moore at left tackle, and a lot of people have asked for Broderick Jones to move to left tackle. And let me just tell you, drafting a guy like Fautanu, he's either going to play left tackle and Jones will stay at right, or perhaps they'll try to play him at right and move Jones. What you can pretty much, you know, take to the bank is Dan Moore is more than likely going to become the swing tackle. So for you guys that just didn't like Dan Moore, you should be happy. And again, the Pittsburgh Steelers desperately needed to draft offensive linemen, beef up the offensive lineman group. They have done that. For some reason, guys, my audio turned down, so let me turn it back up here. You guys should be able to hear me a little bit better now. I don't know what was going on there. But yeah, you should be excited by that pick. So, you know, I know there's always times that we could wish it was somebody else. You may have had a guy in mind at 20, et cetera, but a lot of times I go into these drafts and I just ask myself whether it's a guy I wanted or not. Do I agree with the pick? Can I appreciate the pick? Was it a pick of need? Is it quality value? That's how I look at these draft picks. And I could say absolutely that round 1 pick was a steal, and guys like Michael Penix Jr. broke the board, and the run on the quarterback started rolling, and pushed guys down. And you got a guy who was projected to go in the top, anywhere from the top 10 to 15. You get this guy at 20. I think it was a great job holding pat, staying firm by the Pittsburgh Steelers, and they got top quality in the first round. Now let's talk about day 2. And I'll list them really quick in order for you guys that may not have seen it. Pittsburgh Steelers turned right around, man, and at pick number 51, round 2, they were able to land a guy in Zach Frazier. So everybody who was looking for the center, there it is. And the Pittsburgh Steelers, if I'm not mistaken, had the opportunity, I think what's the guy named? Jackson Powers Johnson. I think he went before Zach Frazier. And you guys know that Graham Barton already was off the board. But again, the Steelers did not have to move up in the second round, and they still got one of the top 3 projected centers. And some people, had Zach Frazier as number 1. Some people had Graham Barton as number 1. Some people, of course, had JPJ. But even, I think about guys like Dave Bryan over at Steelers Depot doing his mock draft. He had Zach Frazier at 20. So what a value pick there for people who expected this guy to go in the first round. Some people did say he probably would be more of a second round. And a lot of people expected that once the first or second center that was projected to be in the tops went off the board, a lot of people expected the Steelers to have to move up. They did not. So in picks 1 and 2, they got an offensive tackle and came back and got the center in the second round. So Fautanu and Zach Frazier, man, at pick 20 and pick 51, outstanding job, in my opinion, by the Pittsburgh Steelers. And like I said, man, there's other players on the board, guys, and I'm not sitting here to debate anybody whether the pick was good or bad or disagree. Of course, there's other players that some of you guys would have wanted. Remember last night, I was talking about, them corners are sitting there at 20. All of them pretty much was there. And y'all remember, if you watched the show last night, I was big on, hey, I understand we need a center. I understand we need offensive tackle or offensive lineman in general, but you got some of those corners sitting right there staring you in the face. And they decided to go with the tackle. But they explained why. They were high on this kid. Remember what I said last night? You never know where the team has somebody projected on their board. They were high on Fautanu. Didn't expect him to be there at 20. So once they saw that it was likely, you heard Omar Khan and some of those guys say when they start seeing the board go a certain way, excuse me, once they saw that, they was like, yeah, okay, we might get this guy. And the funny thing is, had they gone with one of the corners, if it would have gone the same way, they might have still been able to come back and still grab Frazier in the second round. So it looks like whichever way they wanted to go in the first round, they played their cards right and they were able to get the center still in the second round. And I think they did an outstanding job, man, with the first 2 picks. So there it is again. Round 51, round 2, pick number 51. They turn around and they are able to get Zach Frazier. And I probably have called him Zach Wilson a few times. So if I did, please forgive me. But yeah, Zach Frazier, center out of West Virginia. He is the thumbnail because I would say, would be the highlight pick of the night only because it was the first pick of the night. Then what do they turn around and do at pick number 84? Couple other receivers on the board. I get it. This receiving class was very deep, even with quite a few receivers going early. I get it. But the crazy thing is they get a guy like Roman Wilson, and the reason why this is interesting, the style of receiver that he is, think about that. He is a willing blocker, but this is a guy that they met with. Like, this is a guy that they literally went to see was on their radar. I know they was at the pro day. I can't remember whether or not he came in for a draft visit, but again, and what this showed me was that they were able to target and get the actual guys that they had their eyes on. Fautanu, Frazier, Wilson, all of these people, we knew that the Steelers had talked to these guys and had them on their board. Crafty receiver, man, willing blocker, route running type. You understand what I'm saying? You know, does he have the biggest stature in the world? No, he's not the biggest guy, but that's okay. Again, that's okay. This is kind of your compliment. In no way, shape, or form am I saying he's Deontay Johnson. No. But now you have that compliment that we had with George Pickens and Deontay Johnson. Now you got the bigger 50-50 ball stud guy that can catch anything, put the ball anywhere in his radius. And then you get another guy a little bit smaller that would be more of the route running guy, particularly, you know, in slot situations and crossing routes and things like that. That's Wilson's wheelhouse, right? So there you have it. They get a quality receiver in the third round, a guy that they had their eyes on. And last but not least, Peyton Wilson. Peyton Wilson. This is an interesting one, I will admit. Definitely knew a lot about Peyton Wilson. Have actually seen a game or two of his just during the season. Buckets Award winner, you know, which is the award that goes to basically the best linebacker in college football. And this was last season, 2023. But I will be honest in letting you guys know I had no idea about his injury history. I didn't know anything about his injury history. You know, as 1,000,001 college football players, it's impossible for a guy like me to keep up with them all. So I will be open and honest and say I had no idea about Peyton Wilson's injury history. But after hearing it, I'm like, wow. This guy has had in his career, both high school and college, 2 ACLs. I think he had a shoulder injury, was it last season or the season before? And here's the interesting thing. They said in one of his knees, he doesn't even have an ACL. That is crazy. I'll tell you something else I didn't know. They said there have been players in the NFL with the same exact situation. They said Greg Lloyd was one. Thurman Thomas was one. Talking about not having an ACL in one knee. And actually, I think I heard Ian Rappaport, I want to say he said that Hines Ward might have had that condition. Is that true? Do anybody know if that's true? Because if that's true, I absolutely didn't know that. Hines Ward, yeah. Can you just guys? As much as I bleed black and gold, you see all the Steelers paraphernalia in the back. Obviously, I do a Steelers type show. I am a true diehard Steelers fan, and I can tell y'all I had no idea. I must have forgot if it was said. I had no idea that was the case with Hines Ward. I did not. Had no idea. So my point is this. Is it a risky pick? Maybe. But this dude was able to accomplish what he accomplished in last season, even having his injury history. And this dude got a little speed to him. If I'm not mistaken. Hold on. Let me see if You see if they got it reported here. 4.43. 4.43 40-yard at the combine. And let me tell y'all something. I know we get fixated on guys running 4.3, 4.2. 4.4 is running. He flying. For all you football heads out there, and especially some of you guys who played ball, 4.4 is that's pretty fast. That's not slow. If I'm not mistaken, and Kenyon, correct me if I'm wrong, because I know Kenyon will know. I think Antonio Brown AB might have been a 4 or 5 guy. And did AB ever have any real trouble outrunning anybody? So it's just to show you, 4-4, you putting it down. You putting them up and putting them down. 4-4 is fast. It's just not super fast. See what I'm saying? It's just not, you know, you're not considered a flyer, but at 4-4, you running. And as they would say down in VA, my hometown, Richmond, Virginia, you know, in certain parts of Richmond, when you get out in the rural areas, it's a little country. So if big brother, cousin Floyd is here, he would understand when I say this. Like they say in the country. See, down there, they don't say country, they say country. Down in the country, they say, oh, he's strolling. He's strolling at 4-4. But listen, I take it, man. This is one time that in recent years that I can remember, man, the first 4 picks. I really don't have many complaints. And especially, even, you know, some people would say they drafted pretty well last year. But what makes this year different, they didn't even have to move. They got these 4 picks without moving. Didn't have to move up. Didn't have to trade back. None of that. They stayed firm. They just looked at their board and they was like this. I got a little pencil here. They was, Okay, he's gone. Take him on. Oh, hey, Mike. Faltanu's still there. We at pick 17. Let's circle him. They did that in both nights. They sat right there and let the board come to them. And for that, you got to applaud the Pittsburgh Steelers. And at this point, everything else is a bonus. Now, I will say this. You know, and again, this is just my personal opinion. I wanted to see them get a slot corner maybe at that spot at 98, somewhere around there. But, you know, I don't know all of the prospects, but a lot of the guys that I was looking at were already gone. Even my man from FSU. And just talking about corner in general, whether inside or outside. You know, even Green was off the board, and guys that they brought in like Phillips and Melton and all of these guys were already gone, right? So even though my heart said, man, let's go get a slot corner, a nickel corner, you know, Wilson may have been the highest value for them because we knew they were going to draft an inside backer as well as probably a corner at some point. We'll probably see a corner in the later rounds. So I was hoping for a corner at that spot at 98 after we had already picked those first 3. You know, after getting the receiver and getting the 2 offensive linemen, I said, all right, let's go ahead and get that slot corner. And they went with Wilson. So am I upset with the pick? No, after you understand who they picked. But again, we can always have our own idea of what we would have wanted. But in no way, shape, or form am I upset at these picks. I think they have done a phenomenal job in these first 4 picks. And those are just my thoughts. So we're sitting right at about 18 minutes or so. I'm going to spend a couple seconds in here, man, just in the chat and see what y'all got. Again, thank y'all for coming out tonight, man. I told you guys last night there was a chance that I would do a very, very simple, quick stream. So, you know, instead of doing a pre-recorded video, I said, hey, let me just knock out a quick stream real quick, man, and rap with the people. What y'all got, man? Mark Cunningham says, Omar has the guts of a burglar to sit there in round 2. Yeah, man, that something else, man. He's something else. Steelers International says we can get the corner from Oregon. Okay. David Jones Jr. says, yes, I was waiting for the corner pick at 98. Yeah, I was. I really was. But, you know, listen, I'm not mad at the pick. Dr. Trey 88 says FA moves will be made. I'm sure. And of course, you know, they're always going to do their UDFA situation as well. And like I said, man, we'll see what happens in these next few rounds. What do they have? A fourth? What do they have? A 4th and 2-6 or something like that? because we have 7 picks. We've drafted 4. Yeah, so I think there's 3 more picks, but we're missing some round. I think we don't have. I can't remember exactly where we're picking at. Let's see what else y'all got. DCTV says, we're going to grab Joey Porter's cousin. I heard he's a dog at cornerback. He's going to be a UDFA signing. Okay, we'll see. Chosen One, you says, nah, we needed a middle linebacker. Okay, yeah, I'm with you. Like I said, I'm not mad at the pick. You know, it's funny. If my wife was sitting here, she went upstairs, but if she was sitting here, she would be my witness that I told her, I said, right here, I think they're going to either go slot corner or inside linebacker. And there you have it. So you cannot be mad at the pick of the inside linebacker at that spot. Or if it would have been a slot corner, I don't think you could have been mad. What else y'all got? Real quick. Somebody says next year we'll draft a D tackle. Okay. 007 says the O-line is alive. It's alive. I know Mr. Winningham is somewhere smiling right now. Smiling. Big brother cousin Floyd says, I would much rather have gotten a top 2 or 3 inside linebacker than reaching for a 9 to 10 ranked CB, cornerback. Yeah. That's a great point, Floyd. Great point. Besides, you know, the Steelers can draft Floyd's son next year. Plays a little cornerback as well. Let's see. In the Green TV says, is Troy a little undersized for tackle? Only by a smidgen in height, I guess. I think they said he measures at 6'3" and 1/8 or 3/8 or something like that. I mean, he's that much from being 6'4", this much from being 6'5". But they said he has a lot of length. Pause. But they say he's, you know, he has the length, long arms and things like that. So, you know, I don't think that matters much. But definitely body type and, you know, weight and physical stature, he's not really undersized, but a wee bit shorter than somebody said no Diddy. That's a shame, man. It's a shame that they've turned that into the new pause. Lord have mercy. He has Brian Urlacher height. Okay. What up, Diggy? My man Diggy. He says, I like the Roman Wilson pick. Give us someone a threat, somewhat of a threat over the middle. Yeah, man. You know, that boy's mean on them drags and stuff. Kristen Boyd at D tackle tomorrow to replace Cam, maybe. We'll see. We'll see. Somebody said no Neo. Oh man, they putting them claims on Neo now too. Jesus. Walter Worthy says, love beefing up the O-line. Absolutely, man. Everything starts in the trenches, man. That's where football starts and ends. Kev So Nice says, who would you get tomorrow? Man, I'm gonna be honest with you, man. When you start getting in them deep rounds like that, I don't know as much. You know, as far as the prospects, you know, I could probably give you the realistically top 100 players. You know, I could probably give my thoughts there. And there's probably a couple guys, man, that I know of that are still on the board. But yeah, that ain't my wheelhouse right there, man. You know, a lot of times after you get past round 3, the picks are surprising to me. I'm like, oh yeah, I forgot about that guy. Oh man, I didn't realize he was still there. But you know, that's probably a question maybe more suited for Kenyon. Somebody says, I'd love Kyrie Jackson. I think he got his name right. Kyrie Jackson. Okay. 55 Porter says, Peyton Wilson is the next Jack Lambert. Start carrying his bus for Canton right now. Yeah, that dude is a dog, man. And ooh. I'm telling you, his speed really shows up on the field. But again, I mean, the dude was a Butkus Award winner. So, do that what you will. Steeler Card says Troy Faltano and Zach Frazier are cornerstones. Well done by the Steelers. Yeah, and in case you guys are wondering, man, I'm pronouncing his name like that because shout outs to her name is Girl Surgeon, I think. Melanie, Mel Freelander, I think is her name, that, she contributes from time to time. They call her Dr. Mel at Steelers Depot. She has a clip of him pronouncing his name that she posted on, I'm going to always say Twitter. I'm not going to say X. That he posted on Twitter, and it basically is him pronouncing his name. So the pronunciation of his name is Faltanu. I know last night I was calling him all kinds of stuff. Let's see. A couple more guys, then I'm going to wrap up. Where we at? About 26 minutes. Yeah, I wanted to keep this under 30. Martin Cunningham says, yep, not going to lie. I assume Peyton Wilson was already gone. So eyebrows raised when we got him. Yeah, man. Because of his medicals, man, I'm pretty sure a lot of people saying that's why he fell. Aaron Moore say, call him Troy. Okay, no problem. I'll call him Troy. But hey, I'm going to be cute with it since I know how to pronounce his name. Diggy says, I didn't know Peyton Willis's brother plays for the Brewers. Okay, athletic family. That's always good. Douglas Coley II says, great draft so far. Absolutely agree with that. DeAndre Moore says, man, I would have loved to have Mike Munchak as the offensive line coach with all of these new toys. But shout out to Pat Myers. Yeah. How could you not like Munchak, man? Munchak definitely did his thing with us. How could you not like that? Kenya says, Jarius Monroe, 6'2", 205 from Tulane. All right, so remember that name, guys. Keep an eye out for Jarius Monroe. Mr. All Days Off says, Zay Flowers versus Roman Wilson, AFC North wide receiver battle. Okay, but yeah, George Pickens. Let's not forget about GP. I hope GP really breaks out this season. Jay Underrated says, love the Frazier pick, and Steelers didn't have to trade for that. Yeah, they didn't have to move. They didn't budge, man. And they got who they got. They literally, again, I like to illustrate, they was sitting there with their pencil. Check that one. Just sat right there. Just listing and removing and erasing names, and we still got him. All right, he's up. Let's get him. Didn't budge. Yeah, I'm not mad at that. Kenyon double down at receiver. Not mad at that at all. All right, last one, guys. Since we're at 29 minutes, Floyd says, so without getting a cornerback, do we look at Gilmore, Xavier Howard, or bringing back Patrick Peterson, since we don't need to spend money on the O-line, QBs, or wide receivers? Very interesting question. Very interesting question. And I would say this is my gut feeling. They're going to give a guy like Trice a look at it, a go on the outside, right? Along with Jackson. I have a feeling they're going to maybe look at guys like Rush, to help man the nickel corner spot. And I think if they go on the outside, maybe they do bring in a Pat Pete or somebody like that to play the slot, since Pat Pete did do that last season. I think Gilmore or Howard, they would probably only go that direction if a guy like Jackson is not looking like they need him to look, or Trice gets hurt again or something like that. Then I think they may grab another outside corner. But right now, I mean, as far as the guys we know, there are probably some other guys. I think that dude, Luke Barku, from one of those XFL leagues or something like that. I think he is still on the roster to be able to come into camp. So as far as the guys we know, I think right now, obviously, Joy Porter Jr., Dante Jackson, Darius Rush, Corey Trice, and those are really the only names I know. So, woo, we do need another corner. I mean, we definitely at least need 5 guys that at least have a little bit of name recognition or a little bit of been there and done that. You know, I don't want them to just go so super young at corner. I mean, again, Dante Jackson is a veteran, but yeah, they're going to have to do something. They're going to have to bring somebody in, or perhaps they're going to draft a guy before this weekend is over. But great question, man, that Floyd said there. You know, since they don't have to spend any more money at the O-line position, and obviously it looks like they've already snagged a receiver, might even get another one. You know, will they look to possibly bring in another veteran at cornerback? So there you have it, man. That's my gut feeling. They'll do something like that. If at all, it might be Pat Peterson. And yeah, but outside of that, man, listen, great draft so far. First 4 picks, bravo. And again, for those of you that don't know, last night, pick number 1, Troy Fautanu. Tonight, in round 2, Zach Frazier. In round 3, Roman Wilson. And to end out round 3 at pick number 98, Peyton Wilson, inside linebacker from North Carolina State. Bravo, Pittsburgh Steelers so far. Hey, maybe I'll come back to you guys maybe sometime tomorrow. All right, I don't know. If I do, I do. If not, then you'll more than likely see me again on Tuesday. But outside of that, man, appreciate y'all tuning in to this quick stream. Hope everyone has a great night. Stay safe. God bless. Right here, right here, right here. Boom. If you haven't already, man, make sure subscribe to that channel. Hit that like button. Turn on those notifications so you know when videos are live or have been uploaded. And outside of that, man, again, I thank y'all for tuning in. Have a great night. Oops, wrong button. Have a great night. Stay safe. Stay healthy. God bless. Thank y'all for tuning in. And until next time, catch you later. Peace.